The bones of our ancestors are rattling in their graves. Winds of unrest have wrapped themselves around the world, pushing us to move beyond comfort. Today, we seek word and way for change and discontent. No longer can we wait to change ways old. Our souls step in unified rhythm, marching, calling woke spirits to unite, shake off yesterday's shackles, both those who bridled and those who broke free. We call all who have been asleep to the no longer looming, but all consuming lethargy, bigotry, sin, and shame, lest we be reduced to heroes. We call all to become justice makers, soldiers willing to do the work, to save us, shake us, wake us from this myopic existence, to see that we are all connected. Our world is one. Our hope is one or none. Wake up.
License and registration, he can sense your aggravation.
On the head of the fallen angel.
When the world is muttering under the floorboards, stomp even louder.
Time.
Let them know you are alive today.
Or unhum.
Did you know that your hands came with a ripple effect?
Whisper tones unraveling like silk.
Blood, sweat, and tears win by any means poetry.
Sway, look at me. Is a piece of the pie too good for me?
Some may call it rock the mic. We call it poetry.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time you happen to be watching Sojourn with Words. I'm your host, Sistah Joy, and I'm so very glad you tuned in today. Sojourn with Words is pleased and honored today to have a very special guest with us, someone who is literally an icon in the Washington, Maryland, Virginia area. We call it the DMV. And I'm speaking of the none other than Lottie McDonald, who is known affectionately as Grandma Slam. Grandma Slam, welcome to Sojourn with Words. I normally share a little bit of bio information. And the only thing I would say that I met Grandma Slam many, many years ago when she was hot on the slam scene. And I'm telling you, she was winning slams against, as she would say, against those young'uns. And she let it be known that she took no prisoners. Lottie Mae is an institution in the Washington metropolitan area in Prince George's County, where she resides. And we are very honored to have her as our guest on Sojourn with Words. Lottie Mae, welcome, welcome, welcome. Would you please share some information, your story, just briefly, but tell our viewers about Lottie Mae, Grandma Slam.
Thank you, Sister Joy, for having me on your program. I am so happy and tickled. My name is Lottie Mae McDonald. I started writing poetry at the age of 60. Just before my husband died, we had a conversation. He knew he was dying. And something I had never shared with my husband or my two children who were honor roll students in Prince George's County. I felt like I wasn't smart enough. And so, but I never shared it with them. I just kept it within my heart. And so one day, 3 weeks before my husband died, I was asking him, honey, why when I write, I leave things out? And he was in a wheelchair and he lifted himself up out the wheelchair and he said, baby, there's nothing wrong with you. Your brains is moving faster than you can think. And so I went in the bedroom and I started talking to God. The other room, I started talking to God. I said, God, I can't be stupid or dumb if my brain's is moving faster than I can write. So my husband died 3 weeks later, and I went to South Africa. I met this beautiful, handsome man that looked like my son, and he was from Silver Springs, Maryland, with a Christian group. And so I didn't see this young man anymore until I was about to leave South Africa. And we were at a flea market in Johannesburg, South Africa. And he wasn't very friendly that day when I saw him. He didn't have speak to me. And so this was this beautiful sister down on a quilt. And she was selling African masks. He was trying to have a lady give him the mask free. And found she was so beautiful. When she looked up at it with those beautiful eyes, and she said, Mister, I have a family to feed. And so she wrapped the mask up in newspaper. And when she wrapped him up in newspaper and handed to this man from a Christian group, Black man, he threw it in her face. And I saw the hurt of the sister. And so I said, Miss, I would buy the mask. I don't have any more money. I think I had 12 cents. I went there with 2,000, but 12 cents left. So she says, okay. But I could feel the pain and the hurt. I got on the airplane, I was hurting. And this was like in November of 1998, November. 1999, on Dr. King's birthday, I woke up from a deep sleep and I was sweating all over my body. I had never had this feeling before. And I got a notebook and started writing, Black Boogie Woman. And I knew it was a good poem, so I started calling around my family in Michigan and calling local here. And they said, Lottie, that's good. So one of my friends, they knew I had a problem writing and leaving things out. She said, I tell you what, you write it down the best of your ability and we'll take over. And so that's what she did. And so fast forward, I started going to poetry houses, and I had a beautiful poet friend who introduced me to the places to go. And her name was Forstine Bynum. And she started taking me around. And so I started going to Cafe Myth in Georgetown. They used to have slams. So I went in there with that one poem, Black Boogie Woman, and started winning the slams and beating the youngins who had been writing poetry ever since they were wearing pampers. And God had just been so good, you know. So I started writing other poems, and I felt that God had prepared me, was preparing me ever since I was a little young girl, because I used to always daydream that I would be on stage, but I never knew what I was doing. And then I have this loud voice that I worked at the telephone company, and the girls used to run from me because my voice was so loud and they had these little mics in their ears, and I would terrify them with the loud voice. And I used to curse, you know, God in a way, said, God, why do I have this loud voice? Why can't I have this voice, like soft voice like my mother? But now I know why I have the loud voice, because a lot of time I get out there with this loud voice and don't even have to use the mic. So I'm thanking God all the way for giving me this gift. And I humble myself with this gift. I don't take it for granted. And I just feel like God wants me to get out there and preach to my people and teach them.
Well, Lottie Mae, we know that your voice has become legendary. Your performance style is absolutely legendary. If someone were not even in the room, but you were performing, we would know that's Lottie Mae. That is Grandma Slam. And it is certainly a tribute to certainly the elders who have stories to tell, those who have the history, who have lived the history and are in a place to share knowledge. And so many times we hear younger generations talk about wanting to sit at the feet of elders to learn. That is what your poetry enables our young people to do. And I thank you for all that you have conveyed through your powerful and so many times heart touching stories that are told through your poetry. We're going to hear poetry by Grandma Slam, like, well, I'm sure she's going to share Black Boogie Woman. That is a signature piece that, as you heard from her introduction, has become the stamp upon which many have come to know Grandma Slam. And Lottie Mae, thank you for this time of interview. We're going to have you share a couple of poems, but I would like to ask you, within the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, are there poets that have inspired you? I mean, so many times we hear about those who have been inspired by Grandma Slam because your poetry and your style are just magnificent as far as capturing the attention and holding the attention and telling our truth. So who inspires Grandma Slam?
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou.
Yes, when
Yes.
I saw her doing the President Clinton inaugural, when she did that poem,
Yes.
I just fell in love with her.
On the Pulse of Morning. Absolutely.
Yes, and another, when I was in the second grade, and I still remember my teacher name, Mrs. Brown. She did a poem when I was in the second grade called The Trees. I don't forgot the name of the person. I think her first name is Louise. And I just always loved the poem when she would recite poetry to us, read it from us in the inner city of Detroit, Michigan. And I always loved hearing that poem. So I guess I was loving poetry as a small child. But my main one, when I heard Maya Angelou recite that poem at President Clinton inaugural, that just melted my heart and soul.
Well, Lottie Mae, you have melted many hearts and souls. So we thank you. Well, how about we transition to be able to hear you share your poetry? And we want you to share as many poems as time will permit. We know time is getting away from us. We only have about 15 minutes to go.
Oh, okay.
Yes, like I said, time flies when we're having fun. So Lottie, why don't you first give us the title of the poem that you want to share, and then go ahead and do the poem. And basically for each poem, once you end one poem, just take a moment and then give us the next title slowly. And then, because we're going to, let the audience see the title as well as hear you share, and then go into the next poem. So Lottie Mae and viewers of Sojourn with Words, it is my honor and my privilege to present to some for the first time, but to many, many more who have come to know and enjoy the poetry of Grandma Slam. Please welcome.
Thank you, Sistah Joy. My first poem I would do, of course, is Black Boogie Woman. Boogie means scary. That when we as African women become empowered to the society, we become scary. So that's what the Boogie Woman means. Black Boogie Woman. I am no longer your Black Boogie Woman. Oh, yes, you heard me right. You no longer can have my heart to break, nor my soul to take. For many, many years, I've been your Black Boogie Woman. You have disrespected me in every way possible. You have used me up. You have lied and talked about me. But most of all, you have abused me throughout generations. Honey, you have used my backbone like a bridge over troubled waters. You have walked, ran, and squatted all over it, while my blood, sweat, and tears underneath it has filled many, many ocean wide. Since I am no longer your black boogie woman, will I allow you or anyone else to ever hurt or devalue me again? Because I know who I am, the original mother of this earth. I am the one whose hands rock the cradle of all nations. I know within my heart, my soul, and the spirit within me that I am a very, very strong African woman. So you see, my dear, you can't have me no longer because I am no longer yours to have, black boogie woman. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lottie. Thank you. Please, please give us another.
And the second poem I would like to do for you is, and it's Sistah Joy, one of her favorite poems, is Age is Just Only a Number. When you can awaken thanking your creator for another divine blessed day, when you can open a window, breathing, inhaling, exhaling, absorbing the musical air through the refreshing pores of your very own soul, when you can tiptoe bare feet onto stepping stones among the early morning dew, with falling misty rain touching your face with such a gentle grace, smelling the aroma of floral spices of life that surrounds you. Oh, when you can bathe in the spiritual serenity fountain of youth, recharge and energizing the supernatural healing powers of your belief system, renewing faith, wisdom that dwells in the holy kingdom of your very own temple. When you can anoint, lavishly pampering your true self with jasmine oil, replenishing, smoothing the outer lining of your heavenly body and mind. Now you can journey into the spiritual urban gardens of the outer limits, planting seeds of happiness, humanity, and truth to all you can meet. When you can weave and banish out the floors of evil, negativity, and wickedness that in this world that yet to come. When you can rejoice, sharing and spreading sunbeam of hope, love, and peace through your very own radiant inner beauty and strength. When you can dream and visualize an event that yet to come through the future time zone of the unknown, with the revolving universe in the palm of your hand. Oh, yes. When you can cry, laugh, and embrace your very own self and just say, I love me. Only then worthy and deserving King Doc and Queen Joy that you truly are can wear the ageless and prestigious crown made of milestones, reflecting of your very own stories, defeats, and glory. Now you can walk through the storms and valley yet to come, holding your head up high, not fearing the shadows of death, because you know within your very own heart that God had prepared eternal and everlasting life for you. My brothers and sisters, Do you truly understand what I am saying? Age is just only a number. Thank you.
Okay, Lottie Mae. You're right. That's always been one of my favorites. Age is just only a number.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lottie. Lottie, where do you get your inspiration from when you get these powerful poems?
From God.
From God. Okay, okay.
From God.
I know you have a new book. Well, and I want to make sure that we let our viewers know about it. This is a book that is just come out, and it's titled Revolution Poetry Woven from the Fabric of My Life. And this is Lottie Mae. Lottie, is this your second or your third book?
My third book.
Right. Okay.
I had a chapbook at first, and then I had my other book, Evolution of Poetry from the Premise of My Heart and Soul. And then this is my third book.
And if people are interested in getting your book, how can they contact you for that?
They can contact me by my Gmail, and its lowercase is GRANDMASLAM8 gmail.com.
Okay, at
Yes.
gmail.com. Thank
Yes.
you so much. Okay. Well, how about another poem? I know we're trying to fit in as many as we can. So
Okay. Well, let me do I do a love poem. I don't want you to think I write all these.
we have poems about Black princes. That's the one we're going to hear.
Beg your pardon.
Are we about to hear about the Black Prince?
Oh, is that what? Oh, and but I changed it
Okay.
to the Black King. We can't,
Oh.
Since I'm a queen, we can't have no prince. He had to be a king, honey.
Okay. Okay.
Someday my Black King will come directly to me like a breeze from the northern wind. I don't know where, a wind. I do know he will sweep me off of my feet into his fierceless arms of love. Over the threshold we will go, my Black King and I. He will supply all of my womanly desires. Someday my Black King will come. My darling, I can clearly feel your beautiful presence so very near. The warmth of your soul, your gentle, oh so gentle golden touch. I can see you so vividly in my dreams, your mahogany skin, your salt and pepper bushy lamb's wool's hair, your musical eye, the glow in your cheeks is a bed of spices, along with your handsome, godly smile. Someday, my Black King will come. My beloved 10,000 angels will rejoice and prepare me just for you. I will draw myself only to thee. I will allow you, my king, to open and stroke the orchid within the interior walls of my soul. My king, as a matured and sensuous woman of all seasons, there's no reason why I cannot fall in love again. I do still have the loving heart and soul, and the eternal flame of passion still burns deeply in my vineyards of jewels. Someday my Black King will come. My love, I will let only you kiss me from the kisses of your mouth onto my red ruby lips. My king, your sweet kisses are better than wine, along with the fragrances of gardenia, scented candles, oil, and frankincense. We both can ride off on our very own Persian stallion of love, eloping along the sandbanks of the river Nile, with singing doves flying above. Someday my Black King will come. Trust me, my love, you will not need a match to light my fire. Oh, Lord, dreams really do come true. Thou art so magnificent, my beloved. The door is already open. Here I am. Please come in. Your ebony queen is waiting just for you. My bold, handsome, royal, mahogany king.
Okay, and we are experiencing Grandma Slam in her full royal garb.
Yes.
Thank you, Lottie Mae.
You're welcome, love. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Lottie's poetry runs the gamut. She speaks, as you can see, on so many issues. And one that she has been known to address is one that she is truly enjoying sharing and uplifting others by speaking on the issue of depression. And Lottie, that is something that I know you've asked to speak on it. Could you say a word or two about how you use poetry to address the issues of depression?
Because I was in depression for 12, off and on for 12 years. And it was just like I was in quicksand. And I didn't even want to live. The only thing that kept me for not taking my life is my 2 grandsons. Every time I would talk about God, just take me, I don't want to live any longer. I thought about my grandbabies. If I die, who's going to take care of those 2 boys? So those 2 boys in my family, and including you, Sister Joy, I remember when I was going through depression, how you came over, you prayed so hard till you was crying almost. But I had to be the one to lift myself up out of this depression. And one day God just lifted the depression off of me. And then I got back into doing poetry. And I said that I was not, because a lot of time, especially in our race of Black families, we are ashamed to talk about depression. And then a lot of time when you're going through depression, people are not very nice to you. They talk down to you like you some kind of little cockroach. You know, they have no patience, no kindness. But there are a lot of people out there like my family and poets, friends, and so many people that would not let go of me. You know, they just kept their arms around me. So, I'm thanking God, and I'm thanking my friends who helped me to get over this depression.
Well, Lottie, time has run out, but I'm just so glad that you have taken hold of poetry and taken hold of your life and are continuing to share your gift. And the community is welcoming you with open arms. Welcome to Sojourn with Words. I pray that our viewers have enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to hopefully hearing more poems from Lottie McDonald, who is known as Grandma Slam and is doing great things to keep poetry alive in Prince George's County, Washington, D.C., and Virginia. Thank you, Lottie Mae.
Thank you for having me, Sister Joy. And Doc Powell, thank you.
And thank you.
Yes.
Yes, and we thank all of our viewers for joining us once again for Sojourn with Words right here on CTV.